Welcome to today's episode. Free to Lead, Journeys of Leaders, driven by passion, inspired by purpose. My name's Will Steele. I'm the host of the show. And today I'm very excited to be with Jim Henning. Jim is a real estate professional from Tampa Bay. He's been there for over 30 years. He's ranked among the area's top real estate agents, both for commercial property and residential property. And he deals with some of the top end properties in that area on the water and for celebrities, etc. But without further ado, let's find out the journey of Jim Henning. Hi, Jim.
How are you? How's your day going?
It's going great. Thank you very much. Here we are. You've been there for 30 years. What's been your journey? How did you get from where you were to where you are?
I was living up in Connecticut from the time I was 2 until I was about 30. And at that point, everything was starting to shut down. Travelers, Aetna, Pratt & Whitney, all the places were coming down. So my brother-in-law actually lived down here. He said, why don't you come down here and run shopping centers? And I said, okay. So I came down here and just started taking care of shopping centers. And after about a year and a half, I go, I'm not really thrilled with this because it's just not that fun. And I was helping people move into commercial spaces. And I said, I might as well get my license. And I got my license and the rest is history. It's been 30 years of fun.
Great. And what have been the challenges along the way? Do you have any that stand out?
No, it's always the same stuff. Because remember, consumers are like all of us, because we're all consumers, that all you care about is your bottom line. What's my monthly payment going to be? So then you throw insurance in there, and then you throw taxes in there. And if there's a homeowners association fee, that's all encompasses everything. So you have to figure out how you can do that. And especially with the interest rates bouncing around now, luckily they've come back down, which is helping a little bit. That's negotiating the price of the deal is even more important than that.
Yeah. Very good. And so you're in real estate, right? And there's lots of people out there want to invest in real estate and learn about real estate. And I understand you do some sort of seminars, or what is it that you do?
Yeah, I do. I do a lot of different things. I meet privately with people. We call them, it's a small club that I bring different people in and explain the nuances of it, especially investors, especially foreign investors that want to come in and try and buy stuff. You try and tell them where the best properties are, that you can appreciate money. There's things in the States called opportunity zones where the government has picked these areas of that need to be rehabbed or remodeled and that kind of stuff. The one right now is McFarland Park. And if you buy it and over the next 10 years, you put more than 75% what you paid for it into it to get it all, which isn't very that hard when you're buying stuff for $250 and $275. When you sell it in 10 years, you pay no capital gains. So I'm getting a lot of people that are buying them in trust with their kids, buying the place for $350, $400, put a new roof on, redoing the whole house out so he puts 150, 175 into it, and then uses it as a rental, and all the rental money just goes into the trust. And in 10 years, if you sell the house for 800, you've only got 475 into it taxable, and now you're selling for 800. The kid doesn't pay any capital gains on it.
Fantastic. You talked about challenges briefly there, interest rates going up and down. What about 2008, given your trajectory there? You must have been involved around that time when everything seemed...
Yeah, it was hard because we had a ton of short sales. The interesting part is the government didn't say what they were for. They should have been just for primary residents, but even people that bought, extensive rental properties were able to short sell those and get rid of them. And that's when a lot of investors came in. And we're starting to see that. We're starting to see that for the next probably year and a half to 2 years with the storms we just had here, because people are realizing that homeowners insurance doesn't cover as much as you think it does. It's going to be a challenge, but there's always opportunity. And this is just another opportunity for people to come in and buy stuff. And the interesting part, somebody once told me, I've never met an affluent renter. So that's why people come in here, they buy this stuff and rent it out. And that's how they're creating wealth for them and generational wealth as well.
Yeah. Talk about the storms a little bit as well. There's storms. I have a client and she's got 2 properties that got swamped. They got flooded, and it's not just the water, it's the damage it does, but it's all the sand that came in and like that. So
yeah.
There's going to be lots of others. It's right in your area.
Yeah. All the areas are different. Down farther south in St. Pete, there was 4 feet of sand across the whole state, the whole town, where they've been shoveling ever since then. The interesting part is they don't talk about it as much because they don't want to hurt people coming down here. But a lot of the hotels at the beach are shut down. I personally lost my house in the first storm, Helene. where I had 2.5 feet of water in it. So I saved about 10% of my clothes and 10% of my shoes, and probably 4 or 5, literally my whole life is in 5 bins. When I evacuated from Milton, I just threw everything I owned in my truck and drove away. It's disheartening between your homeowner's insurance that if you say flood, that's a bad thing. If you say water intrusion, you will get covered, which is the crazy part. It's just the wording on how it is. I said, the homeowner's insurance adjuster said, hey, what happened? Give me a timeline. I go, I came back at 4 o'clock in the morning because I evacuated. I opened up the front door and 2 feet of flood water came out. He goes, oh, he said, your policy doesn't cover flood. When FEMA came and said, can you give me a timeline of what you did? I said, I came home at 4 o'clock in the morning, opened the door, and there was water intrusion everywhere. He goes, where do you think it came from? Trying to bait me. I go, I have no idea. I was gone. I stayed at the hotel last night, and they've given me about $9,000 so far. So it's interesting, but these people that, if you have a $1 million house or even a $700,000 house, and you've had it for 5 or 8 years, to cut up 4 or 5 feet of sheetrock base molding. Now you got to dry that out. You have to get rid of all the mold. And then you're talking about kitchen cabinets, bathroom cabinets. You think of all that stuff. Flood insurance only covers $250,000 of that. What happens if you have a bigger house and it's $500,000? Now you're going to get $250,000 from FEMA or from your homeowner's insurance, and your house is going to cost $5. Maybe you don't have the financial ability to take out another loan for the other $250 to finish the house up. And I think that's where we're going to see a lot of sales, a lot of short sales, a lot of short sales.
Yeah.
It's the area got beat up, but again, the whole East Coast got beat up. People aren't talking about Tallahassee, stuff on North Carolina, but people don't realize there was mountains that went away. Chimney Rock, if you look it up, Chimney Rock is now gone. A mudslide took the whole rock down, and that was a big tourist spot. But there's towns up there that are just totally wiped out. In Boone, they told people not to come back for 6 months. The Walmart had 6.5 feet of water in it, and the dollar store is gone. All there is a slab. There's nothing gone. People don't realize how devastating that is. And it's a point that not so much, you can replace a lot of your stuff. The biggest mind mess is not having a place to lay your head, or not. Your home is your safe spot. It's a place you can run to. It's a place you can go to and feel okay. And not having that it's mind numbing.
Got it. And right now, so you don't have a place right now?
No, I was lucky enough because I am in real estate. The first day I pumped water for 16 hours out of the house. The second day I recouped what I could, and I started setting up showings for rentals because I knew there was way too many, because people hadn't come back still. People evacuated for Helene. But the crazy part, on Saturday night, I had 17 rentals to look at, furnished rentals. By the time at 10 o'clock at night, by 9 o'clock Sunday morning, it was down to 3. Because people, hey, Jim, we gave it to our church, or hey, we gave it to a cousin, or we gave it to, there was nothing. So I grabbed it. I told the guy I was coming in early. I came in early. I sat in the living room with this house I'm at right now, and literally sent the guy $4,000. He goes, what are you doing? I go, I want this house. He goes, you haven't filled out the application. I said, well, you know what? When you get my application, if you don't like it, send me my money back. If not, this is because I knew I had to grab something. Now you can't find, no, granted, it's $3,000 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, which is too much. But again, at least it's a place to go. But you can't find anything for less than $7-8 grand right now in Tampa. Yeah, a month.
Wow.
It's tough. And then, of course, FEMA is a good one. FEMA just approved me the other day for 90 days in a hotel room. And all you do is go onto the website, find a hotel, click it, and they bill FEMA. So there's no money out of your pocket. So I'm mildly impressed with FEMA. Homeowners insurance, people are just getting shredded. They don't realize how much that doesn't cover. Like ceramic tile. How do you not know ceramic tile is covered? It's in page like 72 of your homeowner's insurance policy, because it's too porous of a tile. Nobody ever told you that. It takes things like this, it changes you.
Gotcha. What would you say to anyone listening who's facing a challenge right now with all of that?
It's like everything else, there is light at the end of the tunnel. It does take a while. I told people, because I've had 4 or 5 very close friends that literally lost everything. Like he called, he said, my doors and windows are missing. I said, I'm sure they all broke out. He goes, no. He said, even the door frame, all it is the concrete tap cons are stuck in everything else is gone. The frame is gone. They had 6 feet of water. It's just, it takes 3 or 4 weeks. I told people I'm in that shampoo phase of my life now, where I'm no more tears, because I don't know if it's because I'm 64 or because of the dramatic part of it. It takes a while to get used to it, but after 2 or 3 weeks, you're okay. And you start to think a little bit better and think more intently of how you're going to do it. And again, it also helps to have great people around you. Luckily, I've got a lot of great clients and friends that have helped me out dramatically.
Yes. And I imagine over the years you've had people go through all sorts of tragedies with their properties and
Oh,
that you
yeah.
have to deal with.
Especially this year, recently. Now that with electric vehicles being everywhere, there was probably 13 or 14 houses in Tampa Bay, St. Pete, and Pasco County that burned down
Mm.
because the water hit the lithium batteries and caught the car on fire. Everybody wants to beat up Tesla, but there was also electric bikes that burned down houses. There was 8 electric Hummers that burned down houses. There was a electric Mustang that burned down houses. People just want to beat up Teslas for it, but it's one of those things that people have to realize that with the stormwater, that's an issue. And now people are thinking, oh, it can sell their lots. You can't sell your lot. If you have a mortgage, your homeowner's insurance is going to pay you, but they're going to turn into a construction loan and say, okay, I'll give you 20,000 for the cabinets. I'll give you 10,000 for the flooring, but they do it over time. The only way you can sell your lot is if your land is cash free. If you own it outright, then you can take your insurance money, they'll give it to you. And then you can just, scrape the dirt and call it a day. But everybody thinks builders are going to be buying stuff and they're not, because they don't have to. They've got the money. They're going to wait till people get desperate because they want the best deals on these lots. That's how they're going to make money, especially if they're going to build up. Because if you want to build up, it's cost between $250,000 and $500,000 to build a house up.
Mm.
So now you got to decide, number one, if the house can take it. Number two, if the neighborhood can substantiate a $500,000 difference because it's up in the air. And thirdly, and most importantly, you got to find somebody who wants to buy it. You might be high enough and safe, but your cars are going to get ruined. The insurance lot over here, which is the insurance for everybody. Every insurance company has 20 acres. Progressive, Aetna, Travelers, Cigna, all that stuff. And they just passed the 60,000 car mark there the other day. 60,000 cars have been towed there so far that flooded. And that's just in St. Pete. So and those cars go to Dubai and China and Belize and Panama. And my Lexus, when I traded that in about 4 years ago, that was driving around Dubai for about 3.5 years. So they get rid of them. The people care about them, I guess not. But yeah, there's opportunity for everybody. The number of people that are down here remodeling houses and all that stuff, which you also have to be careful with too. Besides and everything else, you don't know if can they do it, and do they have the insurance to do it?
Yes. Gosh. So it's a big challenge with all of that. And in your role, you could be supporting a lot of people getting through that and dealing with that.
Yeah, I've got 9 people on my team, and I sat down with them last week and said, guys, you have to understand that between Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco County, only about 30% of the county got damaged. There's still 70% of the county you can go sell in. Don't think that these one little pocket areas, and then they're the most popular and the most expensive pocket areas that got hit because they're waterfront.
Yeah.
But there's other business out there. We can do more stuff. We've all done a lot of people helping rentals, and rentals don't pay anything, but it's just a good feeling trying to help somebody out, especially with stuff like this. And I evacuated to go to Georgia for Milton. And I was up there for about a week, and you started feeling guilty because you're in this beautiful resort, golf course, and all this other stuff. And so came back early, and we decided, because I said, listen, we could probably help somebody if we drove back. So we drove back, and the next day I got a call from somebody on my team, said, hey, there's a guy from Dallas driving here with 2,000 pounds of meat, and he wants to set up his smoker and cook it and pass it out to free to people. I go, you know what, I might not have been able to help if I wasn't here. We were able to feed 1,000 people, 450 of them kids.
Wow.
And, I was standing next to the principal, and all the kids were coming up, hey, Miss Smellgood, when can we go back to school? We can't wait to go back to school. And of course, I'm 64. My kids are way past school. I said, isn't that great that the kids are excited to go to school? She goes, Jim, and she was at our school, 97% are free lunch because they can't afford it. He goes, these kids don't want to come to school to go to school. She goes, they want to come to school because they haven't eaten in 7 days.
Wow.
So it just changes your whole mindset on it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something there when you went back to your team and said, hey, there's still 70% of the county. That points to your leadership style. So how would you articulate that?
I wish I would have done it 30 years ago. Building a team is one of my best successes, because you should spend more time working in your business on your business than in your business. Get in there and really do it. So being able to help these guys, especially new people, understand the business and all that kind of stuff. It's giving them different nuances, telling them that we also did a thing about negotiating. I said, right now, people need help. I said, so if a house is 400,000 and they're saying, hey, listen, you know what, you want to offer 380? They say, okay, yeah, that would be great. And you explain to them, listen, okay, we can offer 380. or we can offer 380 with 10,000 in closing costs. So if you got the house for 380, you're saving $20,000, which is about $104 a month. Okay. If you do 380 and take 10,000 of that and buy down the rate by 2 points, you just save yourself $600 a month. So it's how you do the deal. Instead of just saying, listen, oh, and they get excited that we got $20,000 less, $20,000 less, but our mortgage payment just went down $600 and it didn't cost us any money because we use their money. Yeah, we're financing that 10 grand, but we're saving, instead of paying 107, we're saving 600. It's a plus 450. It's a good thing. So yeah. I like being able to tell people different ideas on how they could do that. The opportunity zone is a big one. I've had a lot of team members now go after everybody for opportunity zones, and it's working well because it's helping people get back on their feet.
Great. It's been great to have you on the show. How would people reach out to you if they wanted to reach you, Jim?
My email is jim@jimhenning, HENING.com. And again, they can always call me. I'm free, 813-310-8108.
Awesome. All right, great having you on the show, Jim. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks. Great to see you again.
You too.
Take care.